Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. Today we read in Numbers chapter 2 about the way in which the tribes were situated around the tabernacle. The tabernacle was in the center of the camp, and then you had Judah to the east with the tribes associated with Judah, and then you had Reuben in the south with the tribes associated with Reuben, and then Ephraim in the west and the tribes associated with Reuben, and then in the north you had Dan with the tribes associated with Dan. And all these tribes oriented themselves around the tabernacle. That's how they would know if they were in the right place. If the tabernacle was way far away, then they've wandered off too far. Or if they were supposed to be east of the tabernacle, but they were west of the tabernacle, then they knew that they were in the wrong place. They needed to go back east of the tabernacle. But that's where they had their orientation. That's how they knew if they were in the right place and where they should be all the time. And this was very helpful for them in staying organized and staying together. And we have to ask ourselves, what orients us in our lives? What is it that's in the center of our lives that we orient ourselves around? For some, it might be their money. It might be, well, if I have a big bank account, then I know I'm in the right place. Or if I am popular, or if I'm good looking, or whatever else it might be. There's a lot of things that people often orient themselves around and use as a judge as to whether they're in the right place in life. However, I would say the best thing to orient oneself around is the very thing that the Israelites had there in the wilderness, and that is God himself, the very presence of God. That's the only sure way of knowing if we're in the right place. Is God in the center of our lives? Are we drawing close to the Lord, or are we wandering far away from him? We can use God as our gauge to know whether or not we're in the right place in life. If we're drawing close to him and we're walking in fellowship and communion with him, if we're abiding in him, then we're in the right place. But if we're centering ourselves around the things of the world and other things, other desires and things like that, then we know we've gotten off track and we need to go back to the Lord. And so hopefully today we'll orient ourselves around God. If we find ourselves drifting, if we find ourselves in the wrong place, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, it's time to come back and to center ourselves on God, put God back in the center of our lives once again, and begin to orient ourselves around him once again. And God's word, of course, is one of the best ways to do that. As we do our daily readings, it's an opportunity for us to recenter, recalibrate, get back to spiritual things and putting things back in their proper perspective once again. And not only reading the word, but also going to God in prayer and then also worshiping him. All these different things can help us to recenter ourselves, to put God back in the center, and to know whether or not we are in the right place, and to get in the right place if we're not. So these are some things we can reflect on and think about as we do our reading today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.